I'm wiped out. What a day. But before it gets too late, my girlfriend tells me off, let's talk about today, um, because it was a phenomenally good day at the National Rejoin March. I got up late this morning, to be blunt. I was hungover from Byline TV last night, where I was on the show, and then we also celebrated the Brexit documentary crowdfunder having, hit the 50K mark, and we're going for a stretch target, and that's doing really well. So last night I had a big one, and this morning I thought, oh, okay, I'm speaking at this march. I need to get there on time, heads throbbing. And there's this, and I think everyone that came along today had this kind of like trepidation of kind of like 3 years later, since October 2019, which is the last one, do we still have it? Do we still have the core, especially because this march had been sort of bumped because of the Queen's death, and then we had to cancel it on the spot. Had people rebooked all the coaches that they'd had before, they rebooked all the trains. So I got there around about 12:30, walking up. I came out of Green Park Station, walking up, thinking, oh, am I gonna see anyone here, or is it just going to be scraggly crowds? And as I came up the road, it's like, well, that's a healthy amount of people and flags. Okay, that's very good. Then I got onto Park Lane, and it was like, we're meant to be meeting at the Dorchester to assemble, and the march leaves in half an hour, but I can see people extending that way. See people extending that way, which they really shouldn't, because this is meant to be the front, right? Where's the actual front? And then looking across at the park, there were more people there. And then suddenly, your heart lifts and you think, we're back, we're properly back. This is 2018 levels, not 2019 levels, because 2019 was absolutely mad for these marches. You couldn't move. You couldn't get out of Park Lane to actually march, most of you. But it was the levels when we had big marches going through town and the media were covering them, which is remarkable because in 2016 and 2017 we could not get media attention for the life of us, either in London or in Bath or Manchester or Liverpool or wherever we were doing marches. But no, like everyone had kept their paraphernalia, everyone had kept their berets and banner, their local group banners from Northeast for Europe, or Leeds for Europe, or Dorset for Europe, or I saw tons of others along the way. People had kept them, and we were back there, and it was great fun to catch up with so many people that I actually haven't seen in a long time, because we haven't done a march like this in a long time. It was lovely. It was community. It shows that all of us have done a really good job at actually keeping all of the community together, whether that be through European movement structures, or whether that be local groups still staying vibrant, or whether that be, the social media network that we still keep working with. Nevertheless, it was joyous, and we got lucky with the weather as well. Late October, like what? And the sun was out and it was warm. So the march was absolutely fantastic. It was lovely. Everyone knew what to do, because we're all veterans at it now. Seriously, like from the booking of the coaches to the frontline banner and knowing how to guide that like through town, to the coverage that we organize, to the stage setup, to the professionalism of the speakers that got on stage. Everything was covered. It was absolutely lovely to see that we've still got that, cultural memory of how to do a really good march and rally. So, I'm seeing now people, posting up the stuff on social media, great stuff from the day, but also it got picked up by the Press Association. So that means it gets through a whole load of papers. Some of the committee are telling me now that it's on Sky News as well. So when you think that this is the first National Rejoin March to pull together, the police said 50,000 people, pack out Parliament Square. Femi had a great video on 12 times speed, so you could actually see, the march coming and coming and coming. it was really impressive, and we're really back in that place. I mean, I think to a degree, the decent weather and where we are politically, with everyone saying let's just have a general election now, the mandate that you had has been so battered around with less than fewer than one people now who would vote Conservative. The whole sentiment of general election now, what are you doing? I think helped fuel the numbers from London. But let's not beat about the bush. The coordination from all the other regions of the UK was like full on there. Even when people didn't have banners, they were coming up to me and saying, can we do a video for Edinburgh for Europe? And I was like, yeah, let's do this. Brilliant that you're down here. So thoroughly lovely day. And it will really reinvigorate the whole community. I mean, if you're looking at the polling now, would you rather stay out, the comfortable option, or the easy option, or would you rather rejoin? Rejoin is just growing and growing and growing. And as to have speakers like Guy Verhofstadt and Terry Reinke from the European Parliament that knew about this march from the get-go and came over to basically get up on stage and say, Brits, we still love you. We know what you're about. We know your soul. We want you back with us. We want you back in the team. That was lovely, because I've heard it from so many people. Yes, Brexit was a fuck up. Everyone knows that it was, screwed up. But like, the EU wouldn't take us back. Even if we wanted to, the EU wouldn't take us back. And irritated as politicians across Europe may be with the likes of Boris Johnson and Liz Truss, and the current gang running the Conservative Party, it's just not the case that they don't have some love for the UK as a major player in Europe. It's not the case that, they've forgone all the love they have from when they've done, Erasmus in our country, when they come and visited it, or, the colleagues they had that were working with them in the European Parliament, in the European Commission, shaping up laws, shaping up standards, shaping up the science programs, shaping up satellite programs, shaping up, environmental ideas. We were there, we were part of it, we were leading it. They really loved our colleagues that we had in the mix, and now that's been pulled away. So it was lovely to have Guy and Terry come up on stage and just love bomb the UK and say, we're always here for you and we want you in the team. And I think that was a really important message. And it was also really important, actually, that with this first National Rejoin March, the speakers on stage, apart from those two being the only politicians, it wasn't any UK politicians. It was the activists and the group leaders of this march and this movement that too often got pushed aside during some of the People's Vote marches, so that you had glitzy positions for some of the leading politicians. But it was really about us as a community meeting up again after 3 years, coming back with that fervor and with that passion, getting up on stage, talking to each other and saying, this is nuts, isn't it? We thought 2019 was nuts. This is nuts again now. But everyone can see where this has to go for the benefit of our country. And we are back. We've still got it. We know we can do it. And we're here for the long run. And we're here to recapture the soul of our country. We know the arguments now. We've got the structures now. This is what we're about. So anyway, I just want to say I had an absolutely lovely day today. For all of those of you that came up and chatted to me, that's one of the most enjoyable things about doing these marches. It's just lovely to meet up. I do all these videos on social media and yada yada, but when we go on a march, when I bump into people in the streets that want to talk, it's lovely. So if you see me around, just come up and chat to me. And for those of you, that were on the march and saw me and I saw you looking at me and you didn't approach, next time do, just come up and chat, because it means the world that we have the community that we do. and we're veterans now, we're more seasoned. It's been lovely. Make sure you get out and share all of that stuff around the march. I want to pay tribute to Peter Core and the committee. Richard Wilson, Yvonne Vanke, Tom Walker, like Lee did a star turn on stage. She was such a character as the compere on stage, and she really landed it. So to all of the team, you did a superb job. Not just common sense all the way through organising it, then having to postpone it because of the Queen's death, and then being able to bring it back and light it up again all the way through, and I've seen many, many marches. On this one, I saw real fun, real community spirit, really good decision making, and real integration of know-how from previous years. And that's why it came off so well. And so I want everyone that's watching this, take the opportunity to send a message to the National Rejoin March on Twitter, or just, whenever you're commenting about it, just say, well done to the team, that was beautifully organized. Because oftentimes the focus is on, the people that get up on the stage and all that. But the weeks and weeks and months of work by Peter and his team, and like I just said, I've seen a lot, really did it just right. And the vibe was lovely and the soul was lovely. So please take the opportunity, anywhere that you're typing stuff about it, to give the committee of the National Rejoin March credit for just how smoothly it was done today, because it came off a peach. And that's all I want to say about that. I mean, of course, the documentary, I probably should plug it again, brexitdocumentary.com. The crowdfunder is racing. I'm blown away by it. It's coming up to 2,000 donations now, 2,000 different people who've donated less than a week. It's going really well. But also, actually, I should say, for those of you that want to contribute ideas, and make sure that we don't miss any aspects of this, because remember, we're aiming for the full 90-minute documentary now. Make sure you do email brexitdoc@byline.tv. I mean, don't spam us with stuff, obviously, and overlong essays that we can't read. But this is a community endeavour, and so we want to make sure that if there are people who've had their families broken up, or businesses go under, or if there are rare facts and graphics and data that you think we should know, for example, the Rare Diseases Network and things like that no one's covered. We want to know about all of those, so that when we do this authoritative documentary for posterity, we're not kicking ourselves about areas that we've missed. And that means that let's do hive mind together and make sure that we've covered all the bases as we approach this. Okay, so that's the last thing I'm going to say. Otherwise, what a day. Phenomenally well done to everyone, especially you, Peter, and your team, the committee that ran the National Rejoin March. Pure grassroots, pure lovely spirit, and it came off beautifully. Thanks, everyone. Good night. Keep sharing all the good stuff, and I'll see you soon.